Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, as President and Vice-Chancellor of the University, it's my privilege and my pleasure to welcome you all to this graduation ceremony this morning. We have graduands from the Queen's University Management School, from the School of Education, from Stranmillis University College and from St Mary's University College. You and your family and friends are most welcome here. I now declare open this congregation for the conferment of degrees, so please be seated. It's my special pleasure at this ceremony to welcome to the University our Chancellor, His Excellency Kamalesh Sharma. He'll be presiding at this ceremony, and we're very grateful for that. Joining us on the platform this morning is our honorary graduand, together with representatives of the staff of Queen's, St Mary's and Stranmillis. We have representatives of the Students' Union, of the Senate of the University and of the chaplains. So it's to you we turn today because it's your achievements we're celebrating, and we're delighted to be able to join together and to celebrate the achievements that you've wrought during your time at Queen's, at St Mary's or in Stranmillis. At the start of this ceremony, I'm going to call upon Mr. Tom Lynch, the Chair of the Queen's University Foundation Board, to present Stephen Kingan, this morning's honorary graduand.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, graduates and graduands, I don't know how many of you are fans of the television series, The Great British Bake Off. I know one person who is. This gentleman watches these talented people making chocolate roulades and upside-down cakes and thinks to himself, I can do better than that, and he probably could. The person I refer to is our honorary graduate this morning, Stephen Kingan, Bachelor of Arts, Fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants in Ireland and CBE. Stephen is a very accomplished baker, and if he were to be a contestant in the bake-off, he would breeze through it, which he seems to have achieved through much of his business and professional life. Demands concentration, creativity, good time management in order to deliver the product on time and to a desired specification. Although his talent for baking has been kept firmly under wraps, his talent in business is very well known, and perhaps the two are intimately connected. Talking about Stephen Kingan isn't easy. You have to check his CV almost on a daily basis to make sure that what you're saying is up to date. Let me just give you a flavour of the remarkable career of a remarkable graduate of this university. He is currently chairman of the Northern Ireland Centre for Competitiveness, Chairman of Northern Ireland Electricity, Chairman of the Balcas Group of Companies. He is a former Managing Partner of Coopers & Lybrand, and then the first Managing Partner of PricewaterhouseCoopers in Northern Ireland, having successfully overseen the merger of Coopers and Pricewaterhouse. He is a former Chairman of Invest Northern Ireland, of Business in the Community and the Northern Ireland Chamber of Commerce. And next year, Stephen will become Honorary Treasurer of this university and a member of Senate. But that's just some of it. As one of Northern Ireland's leading businessmen, his dedication and personal vision has made an enormous difference to economic development here over the past 30 years. And in recognition of this contribution, Stephen was appointed a Companion of the Order of the British Empire by Her Majesty the Queen some years ago. He also plays a very active part in the community. His charitable work includes involvement with the Prince's Trust, with Guide Dogs for the Blind, the Royal National Institute for the Deaf, and he recently chaired an appeal by Marie Curie which raised 3.2 million for the Belfast Hospice. He had a long association with business in the community, encouraging businesses to engage with deprived communities throughout Northern Ireland. The importance of that task is underpinned by many of the sad scenes we've seen over the last 10 days. Here at Queen's, he has been both a director and an advisor to the Foundation Board since its inception. And as chairman, I am very grateful for his valuable work, contribution and advice to our foundation. The foundation, you may or may not know, raises money for this university, and we played a significant role in many of the developments on campus over the past 12 years, including the new library, the Centre for Cancer Research, the renovation of the Great Hall, among many others. Let's go back a little in time. Stephen graduated from Queen's University in 1968 with a BA in Geography. Friends from his student days remember that his time here was mostly taken up playing soccer or snooker. At one point he gave serious consideration to becoming a professional footballer. That's not an unusual pursuit in the Kingan family. His older brother Terry Kingan, the former manager of Portadown FC, played for a number of Irish League clubs and Torquay United for a time. Sadly, Terry is no longer with us. At university, friends recall, Stephen wasn't exactly what you might call a familiar face at lectures. And of course, Stephen and I were at Queen's in the happy days of generous grants, free university fees, and multiple employment opportunities on graduation. So when the finals were looming, it dawned on him that perhaps too much of his time had been spent on the pitch and in the snooker room in the Union. But Stephen had another talent, especially with respect to examinations, which he used throughout his business career, a photographic memory. So he locked himself away for 10 years to do the 3 years revision. And of course, he succeeded in his examinations, very, very well indeed. But I'm not sure it's a tactic that necessarily works these days. After Queen's was a foundation of either football or accountancy, in which he'd become interested. Fortunately, he took the easy option, and then the much more rewarding option, and joined Coopers & Lybrand in 1969. He qualified as a chartered accountant in 1972, becoming a partner at a very early stage in his career in 1976, only 7 years after joining the firm. The rest is history. Stephen's leadership in forging the merged firm of PricewaterhouseCoopers in Northern Ireland, dealing with its integration and establishing it as the leading business advisor and auditor is a very significant and perhaps unparalleled achievement in business here over the last 30 years. But the football bug never left him. He's a passionate Manchester United supporter, and every boy growing up in Belfast in the 1960s wanted to emulate George Best, and many of us became lifelong supporters of that illustrious Manchester club. And reflecting on another of Stephen's interests, he assisted with the foundation established by the family of George Best following his death some years ago. In an interview paper, when asked about the best Christmas present he ever received, he answered, a 1957 Busby Babes replica strip. That was, of course, the year after the Munich crash, and it's perhaps one of the great legends that team sadly lost in Munich was one of potentially the best football teams ever seen. And Stephen reckoned that was about the best present you could get as a child. As those of us who've worked with him know him well, Stephen considers that the devil is in the detail, no detail too small to go unchecked. He believes that if there's a deadline for something, you will work right up to the wire to get it right. Almost right is neither acceptable nor good enough. As an authority on business and the economy, Stephen believes in telling it as he sees it, straightforwardly, and if required, with brutal honesty and clarity. He once delivered a keynote speech at the annual dinner of the Motor Retailers Association, and his analysis of future economic pressures and their impact on the global car industry was described in the Belfast Telegraph as probably the most profoundly depressing 15 minutes in the history of motoring. But Stephen is not a merchant of gloom. He believes that as individuals and communities we can have a brighter and more secure future, providing we all do something about it. He once said that the best piece of advice one could give to a budding entrepreneur was there's no such thing as failure, just feedback. And if the single word that describes Stephen, it is commitment both in his professional and personal life. He is a committed family man to his wife Alder, who is also a graduate of this university, to their daughter Sarah, and to his young grandchildren, Rafferty and Harley. His commitment to Northern Ireland has been fantastic over the past 40 years, and he worked tirelessly during the 1990s when the peace process was getting underway to persuade the political parties on all sides that the only way forward was cooperation and that devolution would benefit the economy and benefit society. That work continues, much of it quietly and under the radar. He remains a powerful advocate of greater business participation in the political process. As he has said, there is now an opportunity to place the necessary infrastructure to create an economic environment, but it will take guts and determination to do it. Stephen has never lacked either of these qualities. Many tributes have been paid to you, Stephen. Your powers of persuasion, your tenacity, your wisdom, your commitment to the many organisations you've been associated with. Today it's our pleasure as a university to give you one additional tribute, one that is unique to Queen's. It symbolises for all of us in the hall today, particularly those of you graduating, what can be achieved by determination and drive, both at a personal and professional level, and how in whatever we do, we each have the capability to make a real and lasting difference to the society in which we live. In finishing, I can say, as someone who has known and admired Stephen over 5 decades, his record of service to his family, university, organisations he has worked with has been exemplary. Chancellor of the University, with the authority of the Senate, I ask you to confer on Stephen Kingan the degree of Doctor of Science in Economics, honoris causa.
In the name and by the authority of the University, I confer on you the degree of Doctor of Science in Economics, honoris causa. May I now invite you to sign the roll of honor.
We welcome Dr. Stephen Kingan back to his alma mater. Stephen, welcome again to the Queen's family, and I now invite you to address this assembly.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, graduates, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, I am privileged to be invited to address this morning's graduation ceremony. I am delighted to be able to share in your celebrations. May I offer my warmest congratulations to all of you who are graduating today. This is your day when your achievements are recognised and applauded by all of who have supported you during your studies, your parents, your family, your friends, and of course, all the staff here at Queen's. Many congratulations to you on your success. As I look at you this morning, I find it hard to believe that it's 44 years since I sat down in the body of the Whitlow Hall waiting to receive my primary degree. I look back on my time at Queen's as halcyon days. As was rightly said, I spent quite a bit of time at the sports field and in the union and in the snooker hall, but the friendship was great. I'm also indebted to Queen's not only for its excellent education, but also for the career guidance that I received during my postgraduate days, which resulted in directing me towards the accountancy profession. Without that guidance, I might have gone on to try and play soccer. The Queen's brand is excellent. the university is being continually enhanced as a world centre of excellence. The university's developments and the achievements since my days as a student have been incredible. Its academic reputation continues to improve, and Queen's leads the UK in terms of creating wealth and jobs by commercialising research through spin-out companies and in providing innovation support for Indigenous and international businesses. The university is playing an increasing role in helping Northern Ireland to rebalance its economy. It is a leader in innovation and enterprise in Northern Ireland and has long been a magnet for inward investment. The quality of its graduates is a strong factor in attracting international companies in Northern Ireland. I can confirm that fact from my own personal experiences in both PricewaterhouseCoopers and Invest Northern Ireland. In PricewaterhouseCoopers, the quality of the Queen's graduates were continually remarked upon by both national and international partners, and the firm has been able to establish national and global centres of excellence in Northern Ireland as a result of the quality of the local staff. In fact, currently, I understand the firm is recruiting 175 new graduates for centres of excellence that are being created at the present time. Invest Northern Ireland has been actively marketing the skills and talent of Queen's graduates to foreign direct investors, and this has been a vital element in attracting inward investment projects in ICT, financial services, business services and healthcare in recent times. As a Queen's graduate, you will be highly regarded in the marketplace, and you will continue to benefit from the ever-enhancing reputation of this great university. I'm aware also that you are leaving university at a very challenging time in terms of the global and local economy. At the present time, the global economic crisis continues and a high degree of uncertainty prevails in many countries. We in Northern Ireland are not immune from the effects of the current global economic downturn, in that our export markets are adversely impacted and domestic demand is also under pressure. In these times of economic difficulty, many businesses are struggling to manage diminishing order books and tightening credit lines, while at the same time seeking to invest in measures to ensure their survival, enhance their competitiveness and protect their long-term viability. The tightening fiscal regime and the impact on public expenditure levels are also posing significant challenges and increasing pressures for public and voluntary sector organisations. This also has a knock-on impact into the private sector, given the importance of public expenditure on the overall GDP for Northern Ireland. While not underestimating the economic challenges facing us at the present time and their impact on job opportunities, nevertheless, I would point out that we have faced similar challenges before and come through them. In the past 40 years, Northern Ireland businesses have demonstrated a tremendous resilience in adverse times. However, it is vital that we take appropriate action in the following key areas in order to improve our future economic prospects. Firstly, we need to enhance our educational attainment and overall skill base across the working population. While Northern Ireland has excellent results in some areas, such as we're witnessing here today, nevertheless, we have too many people with low levels of attainment and skills. Going forward, our maxim should be, we need to work smarter, not harder. This is a major challenge for all of you in the education field, to ensure in future that we increase significantly our attainments and outputs in the primary, secondary and tertiary sectors. It is vital that we have a working population that is properly equipped to meet the future demands of the global economy, and one which will give us a competitive advantage. Secondly, we need to encourage more entrepreneurship in order to ensure both the increase in the number of business startups and to ensure that our local businesses scale up in order to compete globally. This university has played and will continue to play a major role in this area, particularly in encouraging graduates to enter the business arena. Thirdly, we need to encourage our local businesses to commit to more spend on innovation and research and development. Innovation creates differentiation and improves the competitiveness of an organisation. There is an increasing focus on the innovation agenda, particularly in developed countries, to improve their global standing and to ensure a step change in their economic performance. As noted earlier, this university has already played a major role and will continue to invest in resources to support Indigenous and international businesses going forward. Finally, we need to improve the overall quality of leadership and management within Northern Ireland businesses in order to meet those future global challenges. The establishment of the School of Management and the Leadership Institute within Queen's is a major step forward in this area and will provide a talent pool for both Indigenous and international businesses operating within the province. In addition, it will provide continuous professional development opportunities for executives from local businesses as it attracts international business gurus to outline their latest management theories and strategies. While the economic landscape remains uncertain, I have no doubt as you emerge as graduates of Queen's University, you are well prepared for the challenge and opportunities that lie ahead. Whatever discipline you have pursued on your way to the graduation ceremony today, you have already tasted success, albeit with a lot of support from parents and family, teachers and mentors within the university. However much your families and friends believe you've scaled the heights of your achievement by pure intellect alone, I know, and you know even better, just how much hard work it has been to get this far. As Cavan Coleridge once remarked, all growth depends upon activity. There is no development physically or intellectually without effort, and effort means work. As you face the future, you need to realise that effort does not end here. You will need to go on striving for success throughout your lives. You all have talents, and it's incumbent upon you to use those talents that you possess. As the old saying goes, the woods would be very silent if no birds sang, except those that sang best. As you leave this great university, all of you who are graduating today have exciting opportunities opening up before you. You have the skills and the potential to become the leaders of tomorrow in whatever sphere of endeavour you have chosen. As you face the future and the challenges that lie ahead, I would exhort you to remain flexible, be prepared to be mobile if required, and continually strive for improvement. In terms of flexibility, always be prepared to examine new options and, if necessary, change direction. You will be surprised at what career options emerge as you move forward. You will need to be global in your outlook and to broaden your experience if you are to achieve your full potential. Consequently, you need to be prepared to be mobile if necessary in order to gain experience overseas. However, please ensure that you return to Northern Ireland in order to strengthen the local talent pool and to ensure that we remain competitive in terms of our skill base. You will all need to go on striving for continual improvement throughout your lives. As Foster McClellan states, trust yourself, create the kind of self that you will be happy to live with for all of your life. Make the most of yourself by fanning the tiny inner sparks of possibility into flames of achievement. I am sure success will come to you all, but remember, success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you're doing, you will be successful. All of you here today have demonstrated that you can succeed. I am sure that you will have continued success. Today is about celebrating success and recognising achievement. So please savour your success and enjoy the remainder of the day with your friends and family. I wish all of you every success as you leave this great university, well prepared for the future. And also have a very happy Christmas and best wishes for a very successful future in your chosen field. Thank you.
Now will all graduands please rise. In the name and by the authority of the University, I confer on you and those whose names appear on the graduation lists the degrees to which you're entitled and for which you who are present will be presented to the Chancellor by your head of school or by your university college principal. Please be seated.
Chancellor, I present to you candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the School of Education. Grace O'Grady. And for the degree of Doctorate in Education, Anita June Gracie. Katrina Green. Laura Rosemary McClintock. And for the degree of Master of Education in Applying Psychology to Education, Susan Hoy. Rachel Anna Farrell. Deborah Robinson. Trina Bridget McGinn. And for the degree of Master of Education in Educational Management, Jonathan Luke Viner. And for the degree of Master of Education in Educational Psychology, Karen Vicky Withers. Ashleen McKernan. Nicola Grant. And for the degree of Master of Education in Educational Studies, Laura Forsyth. Ryan Gorman. Heather Elaine Hunter. Richard Linehan. Ruth Hopkins. Gillian McLean. Victoria Elizabeth Watson. Martin Joseph Donnelly. Marie Christine Ferguson. Anne-Marie McClure. And for the degree of Master of Education in Inclusion and Special Educational Needs, Roisin Dwyer. Paul Beattie. Pamela Beggs. Alison Bell. Nicola Jane Corner. Rachel Ann Green. Donna Marie Kelly. Naeem Mardi. Helen McCluskey. Catherine McPhillamy. Jennifer Rosemary Mooney. Erin Patricia Maria Kerr. Danielle Marie Clark. Liam Thomas Kelly. Marianne Muriel Ida Wilson. And for the degree of Master of Education in Leadership and Management in Education, Rob Coulter. Kieran McGuinness. Lisa McElwee. Cheryl Marie Spears. Patrick Wright. And for the degree of Master of Education in Principles and Practice of Teaching, Sheriff Leanne Duncan. Nicola Hunter. Shona McCann. Fiona Mary Sullivan. Catherine Mary Costello. Caroline Gertrude Flanagan. And for the degree of Master of Education and Special Educational Needs, Jane Elizabeth Beanie. Mary Rose Black. Michael Brian Clark. And for the degree of Master of Science in Autism Spectrum Disorders, Roisin Traynor. Emma Margaret Adams. Michelle Graham. Tiffany Nicole Jones. Yvonne Kelly. Tara McKevitt. Stephanie Maeve Noonan. Fiona O'Neill. Deborah Whitley. Claire Elizabeth Gardner. Linda Hughes. Artie Sharma. And for the degree of Master of Science in Collaborative Leadership for Schools, Geraldine Dolan. Paul William McKittrick. And for the degree of Master of Science in Diversity and Inclusion in Education, Joanne McKinney. Claire Fleming. Martin Montgomery. And for the degree of Master of Science in E-Learning, Kim Joanne Bingham. Hugh Colm Meenan. Victoria Ellen Elizabeth Carson. Ruth Crimble. Deborah Ann Farry. Edmund Gerard McGrattan. And for the degree of Master of Science in Personal and Civic Education, Nancy Lee. And for the degree of Master of Science in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, Roisin Fitzsimmons. Shi Ping Wu. Young Woan Cho. Adele Crawford. Catherine Lindsay Galway. Irene Wei Lian Yi. And for the degree of Master of Social Science in Social and Community Development, Pauline Mary Cunningham. And for the degree of Master of Social Science in Work-Based Learning, Occupational Safety and Health, Graham Bennison. John Hilland. Patrick Hughes. Michael McDowell.
Chancellor, I present to you candidates for the degree of Master of Education in St Mary's University College. Leona Gabriella Matthews. Mairead Ann O'Connor. Shauna Ann McBride, Laura Elizabeth McGrattan, Philip McMaster, Tracy Toll, Julianne Smith, Gemma Catherine McKernan, Christine McKeever, Gabrielle Bernadette Short, Paul Gallagher, Kathy Hart, Darren McDade, Catherine Mary McGonigal, Maureen Margarita Quinn, Orla Mary McErlane, and for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts, Aisling Connolly, Patrick Joseph Lundy, Emer Etienne Need-Laughlin, Zara Martin, Michael McMullen, Laura Daly, Anthony Seamus Knocker,
Chancellor, I present to you candidates for the degree of Master of Arts from Stramillis University College. Mary Magella McBride, Leanne Allison Lockhart, Michelle Annabelle Mullen, Sarah Rachel Ray, Anya Maria Heffernan, Suzanne Heather Hudson, and for the degree of Master of Education, Nicola McElroy. And for the degree of Master of Teaching, Jane Suzanne Cousins. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Early Childhood Studies, Ursula Sinead McGinn. Carol Ann O'Reilly. Claire Lisa Booth. Lorraine Ann McCann. Mary McNichol. Nicola Laird. Aisling McCulloch. Kelly Doring Trader. Richard Edwin Austin. Stephen Ogburn. And for the degree of Bachelor of Education, Catherine Elgin. Callum Hannigan. Tracy Redmond. Jeanette Connor. Laura Richmond. And for the degree of Bachelor of Science, Health and Leisure Studies, Emma Smith. Katrina Douglas. Simon Firth. Julie Denise Stevenson.
Chancellor, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the School of Management. Lindsay Catherine McKee. Judith McKnight. Colin O'Hare. Clive Walker. Ying Wang. For a degree of Master of Arts, Human Resource Management, Susan Jane Beattie. Nina Elliott. Martin Gary. Christopher Halliday. Shauna Hughes. Patricia Maguire. Claire Ann McKay. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Carrie Ann Lohr. Craig Young. David William Branna. Drew Hubert Nesbitt. And Connor O'Donovan. Satya Pramod Lakundi. For the degree of Master of Science, Accounting and Finance, Ipsita Behera. Myra Jahangir. Killian Martin. Damien McDade. Michael Patrick McGuinness. Adi Adnan Faris Saboube. Bin Wang. Emil Agazada. Yunlin Wen. Wook-seung Yu. For the degree of Master of Science Environmental Management, Joanna Mary Fox. Kieran Higgins. Brandon O'Hare. Rainey Reed. Joseph Timlin. Bronna McGowan. Neil McGugan. For the degree of Master of Science International Business, Laura Brennan. Connor Curley. Carlos Henrique Dupin. Siyun Fan. James Higgins. Kristen Larson. Sean Fergal Mago. Connor Patrick Mistravik. Philip Ian Morton. Kinara Murray. Mark William Nelson. Craig O'Mahony. Ratna Julia Salin. John Shortle. Alexandra Vasiliou. Robert Michael Yeats. Jonathan Garland. For the degree of Master of Science, Risk Management and Financial Regulation, Christopher Annett. Mark Andrew Fletcher. Catherine McHugh. Aisling McManaman. Shu Sao. Aine Carroll. Darren Cuddy. Catherine Fiona Elmore. Edgar Kliuk. Bertha Kruminiat. Stuart Crawford McCullough. Mark James Sweeney. Vincent Sang. Rachel Nora Forbes. Laura Marie Hughes. Ye Yuan Zhu. For a degree of Master of Science, Sustainability and Corporate Social Responsibility, Michael Benford. Pauline Dixon. Yolanda Latoya Robertson Green. Lucy Ann Simpson. Michael Taylor. For Master of Science in Finance, Damien Haggerty. Patrick Haggerty. Long Huang Niang. Sarah Jane Thompson. Tu Tian Tran. Jason Yu Worthington. Shin Hong. Fang Tao Li. Yi Ma. Orla Mary McIntyre. Stephen Merton. T. Li Nyang. James Eric Stewart Moore. Ru Yu. Ting Ting Wu. Paul Noble. Fai Sun. For a Master of Science in Management, Laura Doherty. Oh, Wen Zhang, I'm sorry. Laura Doherty. Adam Robert Peter Aiken. John Dennis Kearney. Bridget Christine O'Riordan. Gillian Adams. Oluchi Jacinta Anakwi. Jill Hannah Biggert. Danielle Burns. David Cairnduff. Heather Cassidy. Yanxing Ho. Hairu Ya. Dale Kirkwood. Hannah Lamb. Thomas Michael Linus. Christina McGill. Deborah Martin. Graham John McGurty. Camille McGleenan. Hannah McHugh. Christopher Timothy James Quinn. Benjamin Rooney. Liana Melissa Ross. David Smith. John William Vance. Gavin Waters. Karen Young. Ryan Lakshmi Das. Nicola Kennedy. Michael Aiden King. Paul Nelty. Master of Social Science, Organization and Management, Colin Baines. Denise Kelly. Mark Joseph McGovern. Ryan Victor Simpson. Maxime Cisaret. Vanessa Cassidy. Rainey Irwin. Rania. Lisa Catherine McMullen. For Bachelor of Arts, Nadja Maria Danielczyk. Danielle Moynihan. Bachelor of Science, Anna Crawley. Aisling Polly. Jamie Irvin. Connor Bell. Ronan Lappin. Donna McAllister. Brian McNally. Owen Dennis Power. For Bachelor of Science, Actual Science and Risk Management, Robert Paul Martin. For Bachelor of Science, Business Management, Rachel Strong. Connor Booth. Michael Peter John Devlin. Ryan Patrick Shannon. John Barr. Caroline Kelly. David Ross McCain. Kevin McQuaid. David Mulholland. Michael Moyna. Neva McCloskey. Bachelor of Science, Finance, Damien Small. Stephanie Claire Hawkins. Matthew Ron McAllister. Carl McDowell. Niall Thomas McShane. Chi Xin Lee. Chan Long Lee.
Well, congratulations once more to our graduates. You've got that prize parchment. You've got that symbol of achievement to which Dr. Kingan referred earlier on. You've earned our celebration in your success today. You've earned that because of the hard work that you've put in during your time at Queen's, St Mary's or Stranmillis. And I'm sure that all of us here today would like to congratulate once more the class of 2012. Well done. And graduates, joining in your success today are people with whom, or without the support of which, we probably wouldn't be here. You've had the support of your families and friends who have been there at times to help you out, to be a support when you've come across difficult times, to be a support when you've achieved greatly, and they're here today with us. So why don't you take this opportunity to thank your families and friends for all the support that they've given you during your time at Queen's or the university colleges. Please join me. And then there's the staff of Queen's, Stranmillis and St Mary's. They work tirelessly to provide the experience that you've enjoyed, both academically and in the wider sphere. They're represented behind me. Perhaps you'd like to take this advantage of thanking the staff of Queen's and university colleges for their contribution to today's achievements. Today is a bittersweet moment for all of us. There is a tinge of sadness in the air because we recognise that we won't gather together again under this guise. In the words of Seamus Heaney, this is one of those departures you cannot go back on because it is a rite of passage looking forward. But aside from that tinge of sadness, today there is much happiness. Happiness in our shared celebration of your success and your achievements. And then there's also a sense of anticipation as we look forward. Anticipation around you, our new graduates, going into your very varied professions. Now, each of you will have had a story to tell, or many stories to tell, during your time here at Queen's, at St Mary's, or at Stranmillis. There are many, many stories. I'm just going to pick on one today, and it's Dr. Colin O'Hare, who received his PhD during this ceremony from the Queen's University Management School. Because Colin was behind the design, the management, and the teaching of the Actuarial Science and Risk Management degree course, which commenced at Queen's recently. His teaching has been recognised by a number of awards, and he was shortlisted for the Times Higher Education Most Innovative Teacher Award in 2011. And today, Colin graduates with what we believe is probably the first PhD in actuarial science on this island. So, Colin, we join in congratulating you today, and I know that he'll be celebrating alongside his family and his students. And so with Colin and with all of you who have graduated today, our hopes for the future go with you. You leave here today no longer students, but graduates of this fine university that Stephen Kingan referred to, a university which you have enhanced by your achievements here, a reputation for which you can act as the best ambassadors wherever your career takes you. But in remembering today, I urge you not to think of today as an end, but much rather a stage in your journey of learning. You will and you must keep learning as you go through life. You learn from those around you each and every day of your life. The road to your future success, particularly in the current climate, will be challenging. There will be arduous times, and they will also make some wrong turns along the way. So have each and every one of the generations that have sat in those seats before you. But remember the words of C.S. Lewis, who said, "Failures are the fingerposts on the road to achievement." So just remember that you, the colleagues sitting alongside you, will all achieve greatly. You will all make some very good decisions. Sometimes you'll make some less good decisions, but learn from them and go forward with confidence. Because you're going from here today, from an academic qualification at a university of international standing, a university that bears the Russell Group brand for excellence in learning and in research. You take with you not just your academic qualifications, but a whole range of skills that you've learned here. You take with you a host of friendships forged here at St Mary's and at Stranmillis. And I know you'll take with you some precious memories that will become ever more cherished as the years go by. Now, wherever you go and whatever you do, you'll always be members of the wider Queen's family. Please use that family. Keep in touch with each other. Keep in touch with the university and its colleges. Our door is open. We're here to help you with that network through our Development and Alumni Relations Office. And we'll always be pleased to hear of you, your success, and the success of your friends that are graduating with you. So congratulations once more to you all. Our best wishes for the future go with you. And as you leave here today, remember the words of Anne Frank in her diary when she wrote, "How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world." You can shape the world, and you lead by example. Good luck, and in the words of Abraham Lincoln, whatever you are, be a good one. Thank you. I now declare closed this congregation for the conferment of degrees. I invite our new graduates to leave the academic procession as it leaves the hall, asking families and friends to wait until the graduates have left before doing so yourselves.
Queen's Alumni Office was established to ensure that the relationship between graduates and alma mater becomes lifelong. Many people will have forged lasting personal and professional friendships while at Queen's, and the ongoing alumni outreach programme aims to keep Queen's men and Queen's women in touch with the university and, of course, with each other. In time, alumni will make return visits to Queen's for reunions, public lectures, social and academic events, and perhaps further study. It's particularly important to stay in contact if careers are pursued overseas, and for this reason Queen's now has a number of graduate organisations based both here in Northern Ireland and throughout the world in Canada, America, the Far East, Africa and Northern Europe. So, graduation should not mark the end of your association with Queen's. Through the Alumni Office, those friends, contacts and memories can last a lifetime.